how would you describe how to place a negative fraction like this on a number line? Okay, one strategy that you came up with is to turn this into a decimal. How do you turn that into a decimal? Yes. Divide the numerator and the denominator. So 2 divided by 5 is equal to what? 0.4, but it's a negative, so we just put a negative 0.4. If you put it as a decimal, it's easy to locate on a number line, right? Number line, the middle is 0, let's say. All numbers to the right of 0 are positive. All numbers to the left of 0 are negative. So where would I place negative 0.4? Good. Between negative 1 and 0, halfway would be negative 0.5, right? Halfway. Would negative 0.4 be closer to 0, so to the right, or would it be closer to negative 1, to the left? What do you think? Closer to 0. So it would be right here, would be negative 0.4. Okay, so that brings us to the next question. Why is negative 20 less than negative 18.9, even though 20 is greater than 18.9? Why is negative 20 less than? Excellent. Perfect way to word that. This number, negative 18.9, is closer to 0. The closer you get to 0 when you're looking at the negatives, the closer you are to 0, the greater the number becomes. Does that make sense? Okay? So, all mixed numbers can be renamed as decimals. Is that true or false? Show me. I want to see everyone. Yes. Why is that true? That is correct. Why can all mixed numbers be renamed as decimals? That's one way you could do it. So let's look at an example. So let's say we had 2 and 2/5. How would you turn that into a decimal? There's 2 ways you could do this. One way that Nebu told us, let's go with his method first, is you turned it into an improper fraction. So 2 times 5 plus 2, 12 over 5. But then how do we turn that into a decimal? Yes? Good. 12 divided by 5 equals, what's the answer? 2.4. So that's one way you can convert a mixed number into a decimal. We have 2 and 2/5. So would you agree that we have 2, we have a whole, and we have a part? What's 2/5 as a decimal? We did it earlier. How do you turn 2/5 into a decimal? 2 divided by 5 is 0.4. So we have 2 and we have 0.4. 2 plus 0.4 equals 2.4. We got the same answer. Okay, raise your hand if you like method 1 better. So going to improper and then a decimal. Who likes method 2 better? Okay. A rational number can be expressed as any integer divided by any other integer. Raise your hand if you think that's true. Who thinks it's false? Raise your hand if you think it's false. Okay, why is this false? You are correct. Why is this false? Why can't we express it as any integer divided by any other integer? Yes. It says any other integer, but if we talk about integers, an integer is any whole number including 0. Okay? Including 0, but you cannot take an integer and divide it by 0. So this statement is false. You can't divide it by 0. Does that make sense? C. 2 rational numbers are opposites if they have different signs. Who thinks that's true? Thumbs up. Who thinks it's false? Okay, so this is false. I wouldn't say that negative 2 and 1/4 is opposite positive 2 and 3/4, right? Those are not the same value. They're not the same distance from 0. They have to be the same distance from 0. What would be opposite to negative 2 and 1/4? Yes? Positive 2 and 1/4. It has to be the same distance from 0, okay? Does that make sense? And the last one, is this true or false? 1 is greater than negative 1 million. True, of course. Why? Pavisan? A positive is always greater than a negative, always.